All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of hashtag CB99 Talks. Today I have a special guest in the house. This is one of my favorite fighters growing up. He's a silver medalist, two-time heavyweight champion. He's actually making two comebacks this year. He's made a comeback to his boxing channel, the Byrds Eye View on YouTube, and he's
Yeah.
got a potential return to the ring. I got Chris Byrd in the house, man. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, brother. I
Hey, no
appreciate it.
problem, man. How's everything been going with you, man?
Great. Best time of my life, man. I can't complain. I'm in great shape and happy.
Hey, that sounds good, man. But first off, man, having you, I gotta say, thanks for returning to the channel, man. Thanks for coming back to the channel because it's been like 6, 7 years ago. I was just keeping up with your channel, and then all of a sudden you was gone for a while. And then when you came back, I said, "Oh man, he's got a few videos already. I got to catch up on it, man." But in between that time, like, what's been going on with you, and what made you come back to the channel?
Well, pain, chronic
Hey,
pain. I had pain when I started the channel,
yeah,
but I was at that time I was dealing with it. Mentally I was dealing with it. Then it got so bad I had to cancel everything. Everything in my life it shut down. I was done. So now I'm back. I'm back, ready to get it, man.
hey, man. I was looking forward to. I was glad to see you back, man. But let's go all the way back, man. What made you start the Bird's Eye View on YouTube?
Well, I noticed it wasn't many boxing people talking about boxing, like
Right.
boxers. So I grew up in boxing, so I'm like I got a lot of knowledge of it. My history of boxing is, like I said, it just go back. So let me start talking about boxing. Let me break down boxing. Not only my experiences, but other boxers' experiences. And you get it from the bird's eye view. You get the bird's eye view of of what's happening in the sport. So just try to give them that.
Yeah, man, because I see a lot of boxing media channels, but when I started watching yours, I was like, okay, now we actually getting it from a boxer. He's actually talking to other boxers and he's actually breaking
Yeah.
down fights. So I was like, now y'all getting the real. Now y'all can't say we just hearing from, reporters or critics. We actually can hear from you. But
Yeah.
you talk to a lot of, great fighters, other some of my favorites, Cotto, James Toney, most recently, Gerald Washington. Talking to some of these fighters in the past, like James Toney and Miguel Cotto, do you still see like the same flair and what these fighters had in the fighters today? Do you see something kind of lacking in fighters today versus the
But
ones?
it's different. I mean, it's eras and
Yeah,
different ways and different styles of fighting. Like for instance, Ray Leonard. You look at Ray Leonard's style, he put hands on you. Like
yeah,
we call it hands. I'm putting that's what I love that style. That's me. But now we're in the era of more coming from Tyson. It's more of a punching era, and people thinking, okay, we want to see the big knockout, this or that, but they forget about the skill set of the boxer. Like what this is really about. It's really the art of defense. That's what it is. It's supposed to be, but it turned into the art of punching and offense, and nobody teach the other side. So for me personally, coming back, I'm about to have a ball because I'm the guy that thinks totally different than everybody else, and I've always thought like that. So I'm gonna bring that to the forefront big time because it's a different between the era of like the old school guys. Like it still stays in the mind of me throwing combinations, me doing certain things, and then I look in this era. If I spar with somebody, they're not going to throw two or three punches at a time, and I'm not used to that. I used to spar with my brother. He throwing a set of 10 punches trying to get off on me. So it's just different time.
do you think that's a good thing? Like you see more fighters like Devin Haney, younger fighters that they come in with more of a mindset like the Floyd Mayweathers, like they come in at an early age of being a technician. Do you think that's a good thing for these young fighters?
I think it's a great thing.
Hmm.
It's really good, but I think when you fight against different countries as an amateur, if you make it to that level,
Yeah.
that's what really prepares you for pro. Like what's gonna come, different styles, different everything come out all these different fights you have at amateur with all these different styles. So and it went out. Damn.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my bad. It went out.
Oh,
Somebody
you
called.
good?
No, just different styles and learning. And that's the biggest thing in the sport to me is we're the teachers and what are you learning? Because when I was coaching, I'm with boxers. They didn't know hardly anything yet. What your coach teach you? So it's about teaching, man. I love teaching. I love thinking out of the box. Boxing is a great sport. One-on-one matchup. Let's teach.
Going back to, let's say, go back to your career. I love that story you told about Alfredo Kendo, man, on that fight. Do you think a lot of fighters still have that mindset to go in and face anybody? Because I remember you telling that story about taking on Alfredo Kendo. You just said, hey, if I can't get the big names, I'll fight anybody. Like,
Yeah.
what really instilled that in you growing up? Like, to just say, I'll fight anybody. You didn't really care about matches. You fought punchers, boxers. You didn't care if the fight was going to be like a banger. You just fought anybody. How important was it for you to just say, I'll fight anybody regardless of style?
I would say when you're desperate, I went to the heavyweight division. I was desperate.
Okay.
One, I'm trying to prove a point. I belong in this division. Everybody is discrediting me. Commentators discredit me. But the boxers, see, they didn't know boxing. All the fighters are like, oh, snap. We don't want to mess with him. We don't want to mess with him. He's like the disease. Keep him over there. But then the commentators, they would run me down. And my mindset was this. I'll fight anybody. I'll prove that I'm the best. I don't care how small I am. My skill set is that good that it will match anybody in boxing. And I'm willing to prove that right now. I fight Tyson Fury. I would literally, I weigh 161.5 pounds a day. I fight Tyson Fury. I know I can get in front of him and I'll make him miss. I'll make him think. I'll make him really think about, hey, do I really want to be in front of this guy? That's the whole point. That's the whole point to me in boxing. Let's get it. I feel like I'm the best. I'm the best ever. But I never get the credit for it. Never. I'm like, okay, it's cool. I'm 50 years old now. I'm coming back to prove it. If I don't get it this time, forget it, because I'm gonna win a world title. And if you can't say I'm not one of the greatest fighters ever, fighting at heavyweight for all the big guys that come back down and fight at middleweight and win a world title, and then go to super middleweight and win a world title, then go to light heavyweight with, I'm the greatest. I'm the best ever. Look, the challenges I had at heavyweight, think about it. I'm a middleweight, a true middleweight. Fought in a big boy era. I didn't fight in the little Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson era. That's a small era. I fought in the Klitschko era where we had 7'1", 325-pound heavyweight champion. Think about that in our era. And if I were to beat Vladimir, that's who I wanted to fight next. Was him, the big guy. He would have outweighed me by 140 pounds, but I would have clowned his big butt. I'm just excited, brother. I'm just excited to be back. I'm ready to show and prove that I'm still that good. I'm probably better than I was at heavyweight because at heavyweight I was slow. I was slower. My reflexes, when I watch it, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm slow. But now I see it totally different at 50.
Well, let me ask you this. See, my dad, he introduced me to you as a fighter. We were watching you in like one of those HBO showings, and he was like, this is Chris Byrd. And he was like, Chris Byrd competed at middleweight. And I was like, wait a minute, he's fighting 200 pounds. He went straight from middleweight to, because I'm used to seeing guys like Roy, they moving from middle, super, but then after that, my dad was like, he used to fight at middleweight in lips. I was like, wow. And, I was watching your style and everything. I seen how you were fighting, but tell everybody why you didn't compete at campaign at 160, why you went straight there.
Well, after the Olympics, I won a silver medal in Barcelona Games. So coming back, man, I was beyond excited. I made it. This is what your whole career, you wait to the Olympics. If you make the Olympics, you win a medal. Now I'm going to get signed. I grew up poor. So I'm going to get signed. me and my brother, because he almost made the Olympics. My father was an Olympic coach. So I'm like, we're about to ball out. Life is about to change. Never change. Man, I had maybe 3 people call me after the Olympics. Not even a major promoter in my state called me.
Wow.
But 3. 3 people came to see me. One was Donald Curry, a boxer. He had a group of guys. They wasn't serious. The first one, Oscar De La Hoya's manager. So I was excited. I forgot Robert Middleman. He came to see me. And he first signed Oscar. So I'm thinking, oh man, he signed Oscar. He gonna sign me, gold, silver, mud. I'm gonna get paid. That didn't work. And then the last guy, he wasn't a serious guy. He came to see me. Nothing. So my father get a call from a promoter in Vegas, in Las Vegas, bootleg, and we could put a show on. We're gonna give Chris $60,000 for his first fight. Excuse me, $60,000 for my first fight. And then after that, 10 grand and 20, then you work your way up. You fighting lower level guys, and had a whole plan for me. I was so excited. Man, this is like 3 months after the Olympics. After the Olympics was over, nobody wanted me. I'm thinking, what the heck? So they scheduled a fight January 28th, 1993 in my hometown. Fight day come, I'm excited. Get to the fights, you wait to fight. I come out in the locker room, I come out to my fight, nobody in the crowd. 5,000 seat arena, only 5,000 seats in my hometown. Nobody come. It may be 100 people. I'm thinking, this is my pro debut, really? So I fight, win a lackluster 6 rounds. It was all bootleg. And then I'm thinking afterwards, I'm gonna get paid. At least I'm gonna get paid. I'm out some money. Nobody get paid. Wow. Second fight, I was working at the Gold's Gym. This guy gave me and my brother a free membership. We at the Gold's Gym, and he was helping us train. I didn't know anything about weights. And he said, man, I see you guys now fighting. Hey, we got to put on a show. He said, how hard is it to put on a show? I said, my dad, he know how to do stuff like that, but, we could do something. He said, man, I'm going to put a show on for you. He did the same thing. Nobody come to the fight. Nobody get paid. Nobody. I didn't get paid my first 2 fights. I didn't get nothing for my silver medal. Like, that's the crown jewel. I'm holding the golden ticket, and I get nothing for it. So I'm depressed. If you look at my record, it's like a year and a half where I didn't fight. I wasn't doing anything. I was out there cutting grass with my brother. My brother Joe had an extra little lawn business. He used to give me the money. So I'm cutting grass with him, and a thought hit me. Go to heavyweight. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants you at this weight. Nobody gonna want you at heavyweight, but at least it's shock value.
Right.
At least you'll get noticed. Like, I got forgotten about. Matter of fact, Raul Marquez on my Olympic team, they kept saying he was a silver medalist. And then I just read that Larry Donald was a silver medalist. I'm like, Willie won 3 medals. Willie won 3 medals that year. And y'all can't figure out who the real silver medalist on the team. That's how bad I got disrespected. I was skinny. I was a skinny guy. I was all finesse. In Olympics, I'm defense. I'm fighting off the ropes. I'm slipping. I'm wowing the crowd, though. But I don't got power. Because I didn't think about that. I don't think about power like that. I just like having fun. So I'm sitting there. What the heck is happening? This is my This is the time of my life. And now time is just going by, and that medal is getting tarnished more every day. It's like, who? And then I'm forgotten about. I mean, literally, I'm forgotten about. Nothing. My brother Patrick, who almost made the Olympics, he called me one day and he said, man, I made some flyers. We don't have nothing, bro. I'm gonna go ask, but I'm in Flint, Michigan. Michigan. I'm gonna ask some of these businesses for some money. And I said, for what? He was like, man, for boxing. But what is it for? I mean, what, you gonna buy a fight? What you gonna do? We need something, bro. I gotta do something. You want to go with me? I said, nah, man, I don't want, nah, I'm too embarrassed. These people know me. They really know me. So I didn't go. He went out, ran across this guy named Dave Lesage. He owned a laminating business, laminating. He called me excited. He said, man, this guy, he said he don't have much money, but he got a venue. He got a venue. If he gets some help, he can put on some shows. My father, Mr. Boxing, he know it all. Hooked up with my father. Next thing you know, Knockout Promotions is in effect. Now I'm fighting in a 250-seat nightclub. That was his venue. And I'm fighting at my new weight class, heavyweight, because I was start at gaining weight. I had no money. I was borrowing money, eating the worst. Oh man, I trashed my body. But I wanted to be a heavyweight. And when I went to heavyweight, I said, I promised myself, I want the big three. Vander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. That's who I'm going to get. They're going to fear me when I get to that level. I didn't know anything. But when you so desperate and determined, nobody going to beat you. Nobody. And that's how I felt. Sorry, man.
Oh no, you good, man.
It took everything from me because my expectation after the Olympics, I was like, I'm gonna get it, man. I'm out of poverty.
Yeah.
Back in poverty. Thinking, dang, if I get a job, I'll never fight. Because I just got married, I had a brand new baby. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And when Dave Lesage, that man came by and helped me in that nightclub,
Wow.
took me to another level. I'm like, I'm gonna win a world title. He died. Check this out. We went from the nightclub. I fought my way out of the nightclub. A promoter in my state, he used to promote Michael Moore, the heavyweight champion, Bill Kozerski. He finally seen me. Like, I'm like 7-0. Man, you guys are doing something in Flint. I'm fighting in my hometown. Nobody know, a little nightclub fighting. And my promoter would send out after each fight to all the big promoters what I did. Like because we didn't have like it is now, like the YouTube internet.
Yeah.
Nobody never see me. So he would send out they would tapes and all that stuff. He tried to just push me out there, get me out there, because nobody ever heard of me. They forgot about me. And then when they started hearing, I fought on a guy at a nightclub. I fought at the Palace of Auburn Hills. The walk-in bout. I'm an Olympic silver medalist fighting the first fight. It wasn't nobody in the crowd. I'm fighting at heavyweight. I'm fighting a guy that in 1988 Olympic trials, he was super heavyweight, puncher, knocking everybody out. I fought at 130. I fought at 139. I'm in the ring with this guy like this. Oh, his name is Daniel Fights. He changed it to Waxham Fights. And I'm, oh man, I gotta fight. Goodness. When that fight came up, I had to take it. Yeah. I had to take it because it's my chance to get to another level. But did I want to take it? I'm like, oh man, I gotta fight this guy. I beat him. I put a performance on that night, man. It was all just boxing skills. I was fighting for my life. But since they tape all the fights, USA Tuesday Night Fights tape all the fights, they were like, where has he been? He's fighting at heavyweight. We got heavy. And then I started fighting on USA. I made $1,200 that night when I fought Waxham Fights. 12 for an 8-rounder. I'm an Olympic silver medalist. I made $1,200 for an 8-rounder it was my 6th fight. I'm already taking chances like that.
Wow.
$1,200. I made 10 grand the next fight. I was I made 10 grand when my first fight on USA Tuesday Night Fights. And I'm fighting Arthur Williams. I'm 11-0. He just lost his cruiserweight title. He's bigger than me. He's naturally bigger than me. I weigh 5 more pounds than him in the fight, but he's naturally way bigger than me. I'm thinking I'm fighting Arthur Williams. He just lost his cruiserweight title to Orlando Norris.
Yeah.
This is a whole different level for me in pro. I'm fighting in my 11th fight. won a split decision. I got clipped in the first round because he could punch. I didn't know he had a great right hand like that. And then I came back, we going back and forth, and boom. And in that fight, I get rated in the top 10 in cruiserweight. I'm 11-0. I'm like, no, I'm a heavyweight. I want to fight a heavyweight. So I come back, fight Tim Puller. And when I fought Tim Puller in USA, the whole world, all the heavyweights in the world were like this. Hell no. That's the one. Strangle him at birth because we'll never. His mama, they should have strangled him because we would never fight him. And that's when it was a great thing being on TV, but it was major downfall also because the backlash from that, from everybody, when they see me fight, it was wow. Crazy. Like the commentators and the people, they don't know what the boxers know. Like us in boxing, I'm the most fearful guy. Who would you rather fight in their prime, Chris Byrd or Mike Tyson? They go like this. Man, I'd rather fight Mike because I don't want to deal with that headache. That's a headache. That's what it is. And that's how it is. And I wanted to keep doing it at heavyweight like that through my career. And I'm going to do it when I come back in this career, the same thing. I'm going to kill it, man.
I got to give you a lot of respect for that, man, because it's almost like after watching you and following your career, you actually kind of introduced the fluid middleweight type of style into the heavyweight division. Because, people always associate heavyweights just big, slow guys.
Yeah.
They have to kind of compensate for, the stamina, cardio. But whenever you were fighting, you were moving like a middleweight at heavyweight. That's what made it such a headache for these guys, I think. And I don't want to give away too much on your channel, but everybody, y'all got to hear the George Foreman story. The George Foreman story that you told, man. I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, do you want to give away a little bit or you want to save it for your channel? We can.
No. You can see. Yeah, you can talk about it.
Yeah. No. So George, he was given a list of heavyweights. It was like 50, you said, right?
50. Yep.
And out of everybody on there, you were the one that wasn't chosen for a matchup with George. Like, what was your reaction when you heard that? Like, when he said there was one name, did you already automatically know it was you?
I kind of knew, but when it was said, it was like, to me, at first, it was exciting. Like, you think you're the man.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start realizing, that was the 100th heavyweight that just said that. You're not going to get any fights. So before all my fights, before every one, I don't care if it was title fight, whatever fight, I don't know who I'm fighting. Like, people get months in advance. When I was fighting USA, I wouldn't know sometimes until at the weigh-in. I'd be at the weigh-in. I don't know who I'm fighting. Oh, okay, you fighting him. That's how it was the whole time. And I don't lie about stuff. Like, when I talk about my fight, somebody clip me, they clip me. Oh, okay, I went down bad. If I go down, I go down. I get beat, I get beat. I'm telling the guys out his truth. It was the worst. I had the worst career when it comes to terms of getting fights. Getting not only fights, I would go to a gym and nobody want to spar with me.
Dang.
I have.
Come on.
I went to the heavyweight factory in 2012. Yeah, the heavyweight factory in Carson, California. Somebody just told me, explain what that is. Carson, California. They got all these heavyweights there. They had literally that day. I met Layman Brewster, my cousin there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I met him there. He said, man, meet me at the heavyweight factory in Carson. I live in San Diego. He was in LA at the time. So I was like, I'll meet you there. I always bring my stuff. I'm 40, I think I'm 42 years old. I always bring my stuff. So that day I brought my bag. Now, I got nerve damage in my foot. It was before my hip replacement, before my other pain came, but my foot was burning, but I always bring my stuff. So I bring my stuff, I get there. They got all these guys there, man. They had like 50 heavyweights. The requirement, 6'3", 235. All these big guys in there, but they never boxed. Like, but they've been training. Like they had been training for a minute, but they played football, basketball. They did all these other sports. So I go to the gym. The guy wants to spar with me. Normally, when I go to a gym, if they already know who I am, nobody wants to spar. Literally, they don't want to spar with me. Because of my defense. I'm thinking I'm not gonna knock you out. I'm just gonna have fun. But they don't want to spar. So this guy agreed to spar with me. He didn't know who I was. He was their best guy. We're at California.
Yeah, Layman Brewster working your corner, right?
Yeah, so he's working our corner. So he got a guy get ready to spar. So we spar, we go. This guy like 6'7". I weighed 100, about 190 pounds. He's 6'7", 260. We get in the ring, just moving. I swear, he didn't hit me. One time, I don't think I hit him. He was so tall, I'm touching him to the body. But I'm making him miss. I'm just moving, moving all over the place. Ding, the bell ring. So I turn around, go back to the corner. Layman said, man, you crazy, man. You still got all these tricks, do all this stuff. Turn back around. He's out of the ring. The whole gym staring at me like this. How you do that? Basically, how do you not allow a 6'7" guy to hit you? He couldn't hit you at all. I'm like, hey, I work, like my defense has always been like my superior asset. That's one thing I always work on. Like, I love making people, I would rather make you miss than to hit you. That's how I am. In my mind, I just want to make you miss. I want to make you so frustrated in mind where you just like if I fought Mike Tyson, if you think he bit Evander Holyfield, he would have got a gun from his corner and he just started shooting, took his gloves off and tried to shoot him.
Yeah.
Because I especially him, because of the punching power and the skill set, I have to put in a major performance to get inside of his brain.
What was your mental preparation like to prepare for some of these big guys going into these fights? Like, what was in your mind to say, I'm going to be able to deflect all these shots and just make them and frustrate them? Like, what's preparation like for you?
Preparation?
Oh yeah, like mentally.
Mental preparation is, Chris, you gotta make him miss. You gotta see every punch coming, because if one lands, see the heavyweight division is the most unique. Deontay Wilder should have been, in his reign, he should have been pound for pound every year. If you're fighting somebody 20, 25 pounds bigger than you,
exactly,
really, and you knock them out, you dominate them. But if you fight a guy 1 pound bigger than you, he'll get fined. And then the fight may get canceled. And then, well, he was too big. He was a pound overweight. Really? But you go to heavyweight, nobody say nothing. I don't know who made these weight classes and these rules, but it's all messed up. Especially now in the heavyweight division, because look at the size.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, going into these fights, I'm thinking my preparation is make a miss. But even if it was a middleweight, my whole thing is make a miss. I don't care. I got this ability to make you miss. I want to embarrass your ass. That's what I really want to do. I want to make you feel like when you get out of the ring, you like, man, I never want to feel that again. Man, that dude's good. He's really good. So I just feel the best, man.
Hey, that's crazy, because it's like fighters with your opponents, it seems like their ego was more bruised by missing a punch than it was getting knocked out by Mike Tyson. Like, seemed like guys, they would like to fight somebody like Nigel Benn. I used to watch guys, they want to take on Nigel Benn, but when it comes to somebody like you or like Michael Nunn, they'd be like, oh, I ain't touching that. They'd be like, I ain't touching that fight.
So think about this. If you get knocked out, one, you got an excuse. What's your excuse if you're getting clowned for 12 rounds? What's your excuse?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why, who want to go through a mental torture for 12 rounds? Knock me out. Get ready to be. If I'm gonna lose, let me just lose like that instead of going through this torture round after round. I'm fighting at heavyweight. I'm hitting you with 4, 5, 6 punches. Not even affecting you, but it affects you somewhere. because I'm hitting you and I'm making you think. And you like, dang, man. I mean, the look on these guys' face when I used to fight them, it says everything. I'm like, this is so much fun. So I like having fun. And at middleweight, I do the same thing. I'm just gonna tell you, put Canelo in front of me. Watch. Just watch. If you think I'm 50, watch the professor get in front of him. He's doing right now, all he's doing is using his defense to win. That's all he's doing. He make you miss, make you think. And he just fought Colin Smith. Colin Smith 6'3". 6'3". Can't hit a 5'9" guy. What? And afraid to throw. Reason why he afraid to throw? Because he's missing. He thinking something coming back. He didn't realize I got this height and reach advantage. Let me stand on my back foot and make this man stretch and try to reach me. He 5'9", but he controlled the. I'm thinking, who's telling you, giving you the thought pattern to fight this guy like this? Because no way in hell Lennox Lewis gonna let a little bitty short guy run through him.
No,
he's not. Even me. I'm the slick. He didn't want to fight me. He didn't. He gave the bid up. He's like, man, we negotiated with Lennox Lewis way before Don King ever got involved. We already knew what was going to happen. And then he brings all this stuff up Don did, and whatever that happened there. But Lennox Lewis is the big guy, just like him, and it's just knowing boxing, knowing how to stylistically break a guy down. A lot of boxers don't know how to do it. Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of coaches don't know how to teach it.
Yeah.
That's the main problem. They don't know how to teach that. They tell you to get off the ropes in a heartbeat. Get ropes. Man, you want to get, well, why don't you learn to fight off the ropes and teach them to fight off the ropes? It's part of the ring. You're going to go there. Every fight, you're going to the ropes. But that's the first thing a coach tell you, get off the ropes. Why? Part of the ring. Let me clown you here. Let me have fun. Canelo learned that too. He learned that. Yeah. He never fought off the ropes like that. Now he's fighting off the ropes. Now he see all this stuff. And I'm looking like, hey, has he been watching my stuff?
Hey, look, I saw you against Jimmy Thunder and slipping. You were controlling his head and he looked frustrated in there. I was like, yeah, this is good. This is stuff that you see Canelo try to do the same as you, fighting off the ropes, using every bit of the ring. And like I said, man, that's genius stuff. But you bring it up 160. Let's talk about your comeback to the ring, man. What weight and what's the progress looking like?
Progress is coming really good. I mean, the weight, okay. I weighed 161.5 pounds this morning.
Okay.
So the weight is nothing. I can fight at 47 if I really want to. Damn. And if I came to 47, you will see Tommy Hearns with skills. Think about that. Tommy Hearns with skills. He already got the power. So in the height, now he got a mad skill set. That's if I did that. But I'm bringing it to middleweight too. I want to be the best middleweight ever to put on gloves. When they look at a middleweight, they're going to say, okay, they're going to bring up a name. They'll pull up Marvin Hagler in history. And, okay, let's match him up with Chris Byrd and see what happened. That's what I want to say. And that's what I want to see. And people say, not people say, well, Marvin Hagler, best middleweight in the world. This guy's the best middleweight. No. This 50-year-old is about to come and be the best middleweight ever. This is my original weight class. When they bring up Michael Nunn, if you know who Michael Nunn is, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You remember him in his career?
Yeah.
Man, he was killing it. I mean, killing it.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to fight him.
That's what I was saying. Like earlier, like guys, they wouldn't want to fight him, but they would rather fight somebody like Nigel Benn because they'd rather get knocked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right about that. And I got a story about Michael Nunn from 2 Hall of Famers. So after my quarterfinal fights in the Olympic, after my quarterfinal fight, Evander Holyfield and Pernell Whitaker come up to me. I mean, they run up. The look on their face, because I fought this guy named Ahmad Dini from Algeria. I clowned him so bad off the ropes, everything. I put on a performance in that arena. Those two guys come up to me like, God, you Michael Nunn, man. This is Pernell Whitaker, considered the slicker. He said, man, you super slick. After the Olympics, I used to train in Virginia Beach. So he would call me, man, hey, I hear you coming down. You need anything? Hey, I know this, and I'm like, wow, this is Pernell Whitaker calling me, saying, talking about you need something because I know you about to kill it. I said, no, man, you my guy. Like Pernell was, when I looked at Pernell, I see traits of me in him. I'm thinking, oh, man, he's a lot like me. Huh. But you know who my guy really is?
Who's
my
that?
best guy? It's not even a boxing guy. Excuse me. It's not even a boxing guy. It's a football guy. Barry Sanders. That's who. Honestly, I can watch Barry and I go into a mode where you're not gonna hit me. Because I'm from Michigan, so I see all Barry, everything Barry. Like not the long runs, the short runs.
Yeah.
7 yards, he clowning everybody. That's who I try to emulate, man. Barry Sanders. He's the guy because he make you miss, and I just want to make you constantly miss. And it's a reality with football too, because you're gonna get tackled. It's like boxing. You're gonna get hit. It's like jumping in the ocean and not getting wet. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna get hit in boxing, but I try to just get hit just a little bit, but to make the crowd go, oh man. See, for instance, the difference between me and Floyd Mayweather in our defense is this. He uses legs. I use my upper body. Like he uses upper body at times, but I use my upper body. I don't have to have my legs to get me out of trouble. I don't have to. I stay right in front of you and make you miss. I'll try to make you miss every punch. I'll stay right there in front of you. And I'm gonna do it now, especially at middleweight. Because I stay there right in front of you. If I want to stay in front of you, I'll stay right there. I got a heavyweight mentality. I don't care about you. You think I care about you pushing me back? I always care about punches, of course. Nobody want to get hit. But the physical part, man, get out of my face, man. You got to be crazy. If you push me to the ropes, it's not going to be the same. I'm on the ropes because I want to be on the ropes, not because you push me on the ropes. See, the heavyweights I fought, Andrew Galata. Yep. I couldn't get off the ropes. It took too much energy for me to fight to get off the ropes, and then I gotta keep doing it the whole fight. Forget that. I'm laying on the ropes. It's too much. It takes too much energy, especially I weigh 211. He's 240. You know, it's not worth the battle. So I just lay on the ropes, man.
Hey, who was the one heavyweight that you was in there with for like one round, and you could see the frustration in their eyes when they couldn't hit you? Who was that one you just say, I got him. I got him.
Evander Holyfield.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Honestly, he didn't want to fight me in the first place. I got a whole article on it. I mean, he was like, man, I gotta fight this dude. You gotta be. The thing about Evander, he used to come to U.S. championships every year and pass out the medal at the end when we got the champion, whoever won the U.S. championship. I was in the finals 5 years in a row, so I always seen Evander. Yeah. I sized him up. I sized him up at the Olympics. I'm thinking, man, and then I watch him box. He liked to rumble. He plays into my style. He liked to rumble. I'm like, okay, you coming. I'm saying what Mr. T said on Rocky 3. Man, tailor made for me, come straight ahead, gonna get hurt. Yeah. He tailor made for me.
Yeah.
So the frustration on his face, he landed 3 jabs in the whole fight. And that's what they said. He landed no jab. I'm left-handed. I'm taking away his jab, making him think. One time I looked at Larry Merchant and Jim Lampley. I'm looking at them two, and Evander right there. I'm looking at them, and then he said, I'm looking at him and them at the same time. And they announced it. They're like, look at him. He's looking at him. I was trying to get in his brain so much because he's really smart. Evander's smart. Like he got me in the corner. He would do a step to each side that threw me off so much. I was like, oh snap, look at this. He'd take one step one way, he covering both sides. I didn't know which way to go. So I had to time it. Once I'm like, okay, what is he doing? What is he doing? It's a thinking battle. And once he took a step that way, I hurried up and turned it. Okay, that's my way out. Now I had to figure all this stuff out. Because when you get to with a smart heavyweight, especially Evander, he's strong as heck because he's a small heavyweight, but he's a natural heavyweight. Like now he know the heavyweight game. Man, he can punch so hard. So when he got me on the ropes, he punched hard, and I'll try to make him miss. But my father was like, spin off, just make sure you see something. If he make that mistake, because my father know me, if you see that little opening, just slip out. And that's what I started doing. I started slipping. He started noticing that. He's like, okay, I can't use that tactic no more. And I love doing that in the ring with somebody that smart. Because I feel you're not smarter than me. You're not gonna outthink me. That's how I feel. So, and when you get in the fights where people try to outthink you, you're like, oh, I love this battle. Because I think I'm gonna win this battle. I'm smarter than you, man. You gotta knock me out to beat me. You ain't gonna just beat me straight up.
Man, now I got to go back and watch that fight and just look for every little thing again, man.
Yeah, so, look for it, big time.
I definitely will, man. But let me ask you this too. Do you think there'll ever be another crop of heavyweights that, in between like 5'10" and 6'2", with that type of slickness that you brought to the ring? Do you think you ever have guys like that? Just seems like everybody's getting bigger and bigger now, man.
I think that era, it's unless it's a little guy. I mean, I look at this, not power, because power, you small. Nah, you got to have a game where you got to make a guy think majority of the time if you're a smaller guy and you're, because it's only getting bigger. That's the guys are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the division gonna be mostly big on the bigger side, because all the kids are getting bigger. Like when I was fighting boxing when I was young, everybody was small. You have 3 heavyweights. You have one. There was one kid from Muskegon, Michigan, overweight kid. He won every tournament when I was like 11. He was 15. He was winning everything. He never fought.
Yeah.
He go uncontested all through the tournament. Now these weight classes are full, and the little weight class you can't find anybody, when it used to be reversed when we were younger. So it's getting bigger and bigger in all sports. Everybody's just getting huge now.
Let's say, Chris, you had a kid that was like 6 foot, had like 220 on him. How would you prepare him for guys like Wilder, AJ, and Fury, Luis Ortiz, these guys like that? How would you prepare him for that if you seen he had a little bit of slickness in him like that?
Oh, I don't care if he didn't have no slickness in him. I put it in him. You have to. You're not gonna. What? You gonna bang with him? You gonna go to war with him? 270 pounds, 260? No, 6'6", and you 6'2", 220. And what, you think gonna box?
Right.
And that's the mentality. You can box some guys, but most of the guys, you're not gonna outbox them. You thinking just with a normal style. I'm left-handed too. It made it much more difficult because I'm left-handed and with a style like this. And now, like I told a boxer when I was boxing, he weighed 218. He was fighting at heavyweight, and his promoter they were so gung ho. Man, we have a small heavyweight like you. I said, well, yeah, but he's not me. It's totally different. You're not me though. You haven't went through what I went through. When you struggle like that, my brain is different. I want it more than anything. I don't have nothing. This is all I know in my life. This is what I want. And we're different skill sets. Yeah. He more, this guy was a more puncher. He had a little bit of power. No, you can't do that. Go down to cruiserweight. I told him, go down to cruiserweight, bro. And he weighed 218. That's losing 18 pounds. because you're not gonna hang. And sure enough, his next fight, he fought heavyweight, down he went. He didn't lose, but he was a young heavyweight, like 6-0. Now he already got knocked down. That tell you right there. If you get knocked down at 6-0 and you 218, wait till you get 16-0 and they get harder, bigger, faster, stronger. A lot of these guys on drugs. So and I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up big time because I can tell you this on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I had 4 losses at heavyweight. 4. Review them. If you review them and really look at the guys, you'll go, how the heck a guy put on 8 pounds of muscle from fight to fight? I don't get this. And see, I was in the heavyweight division, so I noticed a lot of stuff. And it's not just heavyweights. It's all through boxing. And then I got hip to it as a heavyweight. I posted on social media, it's on YouTube, all that. Not one response. Not one. Not one. The least viewed video. Think about that. Because all these guys on drugs. Everybody on all these top guys on drugs. Everyone, man. Look, I get so amped up on this subject because everybody downplay it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody downplay it. It's nothing. It's the secret of all sports. Nobody wants to say nothing. I use no drugs. Fought at heavyweight in a big era. A middleweight still won 2 heavyweight titles. No drug. I had no money. I don't know no drug people, nothing. Never knew them ever. But I was a coach too. And I seen drugs all over the table. I ain't say nothing. All I think is this. If that was my kid and you kill my kid, your ass going to prison.
Right.
Look, I'm damaged. Mostly was food, my pain. But boxing also. I'm fighting these humongous guys and you on drugs. I know this because a heavyweight told me. A heavyweight contender who was in the mix and told me straight up, man, you the best in the division, but you outgunned every time you get in the ring. I said, I know that. I'm small. He was like, nah, brother, small? Nah. Drugs. Because I was a Christian at the time, born again, and very naive. And he knew it. He was like, man, you just a good dude, man. You don't know nothing. I was like, no, I know hard work. My mother and father picked cotton. All I know is work hard, work hard, work hard. I knew nothing about drugs. And then they talk about drugs. I'm like, drugs? I did a commercial in the Olympics after the Olympics on steroids. I didn't even know what steroids was, but I did a commercial. You're not a winner. You're a cheater. You may not know it. Your family may not know it. Your friends may not know it, but deep down inside, you know it. That was the commercial. That was the words of it. And then years later, you hear that, man, people are using drugs in our sport. And when I really look at it, I'm not going to say any names, but it just, I look at it, I say, you're a cheater. All these guys you say, everybody say great, 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 great. Look at the background. If you go to training camp, follow him in training camp. What is he using? He need help. He need help. He need help. And everybody's saying they great. I get amped on this subject. I get so hyped up because I know my skill set. I know how good I didn't use no drugs. Now I'm in front of this man. I'm in front of this man. I'm in front of this man. They're using drugs. I know for sure they're using drugs. Now you fighting the hell out of me for 12 rounds. Now you getting credit for beating me or stopping me or doing this. But let's check your damn background. Well, really? Look. I'm the greatest heavyweight ever. Me and Ali, we're right neck and neck. He used no drugs. I didn't either. And I got the same skill set and I'm left-handed. So, like, forget that, man.
Well, look, I'm gonna share this video because something on my channel we always talk about too. We always talk about the dark cloud over these fighters that do get that they get popped, as we say. They test positive. I talk to MMA fighters. I talk to a lot of MMA fighters now too, and they tell me what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
we call them out over here on this channel. We do. We say it's a
Good.
dark cloud on these fighters. We say so and so got popped. You don't get a special treatment. If you got popped, then you need the 2-year ban, because that's what USADA does for the UFC fighters now. So we do the same thing. So yeah, let me pull that video up, and I'll definitely share that too, man. Because yeah, that's something I don't condone either. I want a clean sport, and if you can do it the way you do it, more respect to you, man. Especially in a it's a lot of from what I heard, it's a lot of users. So yeah, man, definitely got to bring this thing to light more and more.
Everybody, look, the top of the top. It shocked me. Honestly, this is what I get all the time, and this is what I said. What about the drug test? Oh man, what about drug test? I hear everybody tell me that now. Man, what about drug test? And what the boxer said to me, he said, F the drug test. And it didn't mean forget. F the drug test. This is somebody's company. This is somebody's company. If I pop positive, it ruins their company. No, these are scientists, chemists behind all this stuff. These are the best. And then I seen it for myself. And I go in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, look at that. Now you a different monster. Look at you. Look how you fight now. Your brain totally different. Now you got kill on your mind. I want to go to war. I want to do this. I seen it firsthand from cowards. You a coward, man. He talk boxing. It's always this guy is, man, he good. Look how big he is. He fast. He this. Susie on the drugs, all that go away. It's fight time. The mind changes totally. And if anybody say, like on my comeback, I'm gonna talk about it a lot. And if anybody say, I'll say, no, let's do a random drug test. Random. You don't know when I'm coming. Now it throws you off big time. I mean, it throws those guys off big time. Unless because they get more sophisticated every day. They get more sophisticated on how to get past the drug test. So, it's just so much. And I hate it. I hate it because I just like the pureness of the sport. It diminishes everybody record from the past. They didn't use no drugs. No. Ray Robinson didn't use no. They didn't have it.
No.
And now you come in calling yourself great, like I'm the greatest ever. But you, low key, you on drugs. You've been busted, but what? So if you busted once, you think you just took it one time? Really? Really? No, you get more sophisticated. No, how do we get past this, man? How do we get past this drug test? That's the whole thing. And I never on your show, you heard it from me, ever took drugs. Ever. Because I got accused of it. Well, how'd you get to heavyweight? Man, I struggled. I was so fat. If I showed you pictures when I first moved, man, I was so nasty, skinny arms, blubbery. Watch me on TV. If you see me on,
yeah.
Man, you watch certain fights. I'm so, I hated my body. I'm embarrassed because I was always skinny, and now I'm fat.
Oh
man,
it's
just bad, man. And then on top of it, now they use drugs. I'm 208 soft. 208 soft. I fought Vitaly Klitschko. 208 soft. I fought Ika Bambucci. 208 soft.
Wow.
Look at Ike. Look across. Then I gotta look across the ring, and my mother and father gotta look across the ring. They look across the ring like, damn, how did he get like that? 244 all muscle. How did he get like that? How? Yeah, that's what I want to know. No, they don't bring that shit up. They never bring that stuff up. How did he go from 236 to fighting this guy? Next fight, he fight 244. Really? 8 pounds of muscle? But nobody bring it up. Commentators to the social media people, podcast people, nobody bring this shit up. I'm the one that's got to bring it up at 50 years old. I got to come and probably have death threats on me if I talk about drugs, I don't care. We live one time, man. Die out. Hey, move on.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be something that's got to be brought up. I definitely agree with you on that. But speaking of what goes into your body, I seen some of these vegan dishes you've been posting up here. Like, How long have you been on the vegan diet, and what's the benefits been like for you?
I'm glad you brought that up because that's a main topic of mine. Because like I said, after Olympics, depressed, trashed my body. I had no money, so I'm borrowing money. So imagine what I'm eating. If you have very little money, poor people, look at the neighborhood. Look what they sell at the store. They get us in the poor neighborhoods.
Yes.
So trashed it. I mean, I ate the worst food, and I'm very sensitive, and it caught up to me. That's why I had a hip replacement. That's why my whole electrical system in my body was all messed up. And Dr. Sebi, you ever heard of Dr. Sebi?
Yes, I have.
So, in hearing Dr. Sebi speak the first time back in 2006, I was still I just lost my title, and I followed him, but I never followed his eating plan. Never. And I'm like, okay, it sounds good, but man, Dr. Sebi, you know what he's talking about food, but I ain't doing it because I like my ribs and like all my meat and all my sweets. And then there comes a time when you're in so much pain and you don't know why. The doctors don't know. Nobody know. I was going to 4 doctors a week. I'm going doctor. Nobody know. Then I go to this doctor. I got nerve damage in my foot that I wanted my foot cut off. And then they said phantom pain, where you think you still have your foot there, but it's gone, but you're still in pain. I was like, no. But then I said, can you cut it off at the leg? I wanted my leg cut off because the pain was just, they said the same thing. So, going through it, all these flares in my foot all day, flaring. It's like a fireworks. And I'm suicidal, thinking about killing myself, depressed, doing all this stuff. And nobody know. So start doing research. First thing you look up certain stuff. I looked up urine therapy. One of them. Oh yeah, I know. And then I went into food. I was like, that'll help. Then I went back to Dr. Sebi and started changing the way I eat. Sugar, wheat, dairy. Oh man, that's kryptonite to me. When I fought Jimmy Thunder on HBO, my first HBO fight.
Yeah.
One thing, the main event was Larry Donald and what's the big heavyweight name from Philadelphia? He used to be heavyweight champion. I see him. I see him the overhead. He throw an overhand right. He knocked out. What's his name? I got it on the tip of my tongue.
Was it Witherspoon?
Tim Witherspoon.
Tim Witherspoon.
So they were the main event, and while they were fighting, they were rushing me out because HBO. I watch HBO fights all the time. I've never seen a boxer do an on-air interview after his fight. Think about it. They're gonna do an interview with me because they thought I was a born fighter. Now I'm a good fighter, and they said I was a born Chris Byrd. So after that fight, I'm getting rushed to the hospital. Roy Jones in the back, like, man, what's wrong? I can hear him say that to my brother. My brother's like, I don't know. He fell out in the locker room. I fell out in the locker room.
Wow.
Afterwards, we didn't know what it was. Went to the hospital. You dehydrated. So I've been having that for, man, I would fall out of the locker room after. I would be in fights so tired, extreme. My son got the same problem. He played college basketball. He'll run up and down the court one time, run down, run back. He asked him to come out. He's tired. If he eating wheat, dairy, or sugar, he has the same problem. So I didn't know I had this problem all the way up until I fought Evander Holyfield. I didn't know. And I'm dealing with this problem because I put on 50 pounds to fight at heavyweight. And now I got the extreme fatigue problem. I'm breaking out in hives. I'm itching all over. I'm having all these issues with my body. While I'm fighting, I'm having all these issues during training. Can't train so hard because if too much oxygen get into my body, it has shut me down big time. I'm dead. And I love training. So, food. Back to the food. So, in changing my diet, all that went away. I mean, I have no extreme fatigue. I have nothing. No itching, no nothing. It all went away. Think about it. Food. I changed my diet. Everything started changing big time. Started changing the way I think too. The way I think about certain things. I'm really good. But what we put in our body is what we do every day.
Yeah.
Every day. 3, 4, 5 times a day goes into your body. You get to control how your body feel, look, everything. We control it. But look how we control it. And that's how I was controlling it every day. I never had nutrition. Ever since I went to heavyweight division, the whole thought was, you got to stay at heavyweight. You got to stay at heavyweight. My weight literally would drop. I would come in the gym, be excited. I weigh 215. But I just ate 3 hamburgers, fries, drank all these drinks, and I felt, and I'm fat. I get the scale, and I felt good because I weighed 215. I'm like, oh, I'm a heavyweight. I work out, leave at 204. And I'm like, dang it. Because I know I'm not hungry. I just lost all this weight. I'm gonna lose more weight. And when I sleep tonight, I'm gonna lose 3 more pounds. Now I got to eat all this trash to get my weight back up so it won't drop all the way back down. I had a what do they call it? I had a just in my mind, I used to think I gotta be a heavyweight. They gotta criticize me. I'm too small. I'm just too small. I used to hate it that I was too small. And now I look at it like I should just stay there. But it was all food, man. Food changed the way I felt, acted. Like I said, I looked slow in fights. It was all food. And now the food and cannabis also brought me back. I mean, literally, it bringing me back to the fold. Like, okay, this is how your body's supposed to be treated. Not like it was in the past. Now. And now I see the results much more. Oh my goodness. I'm 50 years old.
Yeah.
And when I tell you about 50 and still have a great skill set, I'm not playing. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to show. I want everybody. I'm telling these stories so people can remember how I used to fight. Because when they see that, they go like, damn, he better than he was when he was. Usually you slow down. You go like, no, he's better.
Hey, look, that's why I'm glad you brought up Dr. Seb, because like one of the things I learned from him is that you got to know your body. And I think, look, we need doctors. You know, I respect doctors, their opinion, but they can tell us what we need, but we really know what we need. You know, as people that know our own body. That's why I always say you got to know your body. And I'm glad that you found that. I'm glad you went that vegan diet, because now it's kind of bringing you back to where you feel like where you should have been before, right? So yeah.
Oh, I'm back, brother. Yes, you're right. I feel like it. And I would have never been back. I would have never been back. I was on my way. Look, check this out. 2 people told me this. Man, you got dementia eyes. Dementia eyes. Think about that.
Yeah.
So is it a truly boxing thing, or 100% boxing, or is it boxing and everything else? But everything else for me, I had nutrition in my body. Not during the day, no nutrition. I wake up in the morning looking at. I used to be. Let me. I wake up in the morning. I used to think, okay, let me eat this. Eat this. No nutrition. Middle of the day, if I eat, no nutrition. Dinner, I can't wait to dinner because it's gonna be rib, chicken, something. Really, no nutrition, because now it's all this junk go with it, and my body constantly getting worse and worse. And I'm not working out as much. You know, it's retirement now, so you chill. I work out a little bit here. I do this, but my eating was just off the chart poor. You know, and then having, like I said, when somebody said you have dementia, it's that look where you're staring, but nobody's home. And 2 people said that, and that's totally 100% out of the window. 100%. You look at me, if I go to the doctor, you're the healthiest guy I ever seen. 50. Man, you healthy as heck. As a matter of fact, the doctor is asking me, man, what you been doing? Hey, can I come to you? The doctor want to come to me.
Yeah.
to get a health checkup. Yeah, because I feel great, man. This turnaround is like the best time of my life because I get to box again.
Yeah.
I feel like, and not only box, but I get to box and prove that a 50-year-old can perform at 50. Like not at 50, but in his 50s. Like life is not over. You can still do whatever. Take care of yourself. Just be healthy. Health is everything, man. Health.
I
Get
agree.
your health back. If you sick, if
Yeah,
you out there, you
that's
sick,
true.
get your health back and do your research. Don't take these pills and don't take a doctor's answer because what you're feeding into with the doctors, like I said, I was going to four doctors a week. I'm going to all these different ones. Nobody, they'll send me to Dr. Joe, Dr. John, Dr. Jim. I'm going, this doctor don't know nothing. So I had to start doing the research myself. And then I look at it like this. This is my body. The first thing this doctor, because I can't take prescription drugs. I can't take prescription drugs. I almost got arrested downtown LA. I lost it. In 2011, I lost my mind, went crazy. Cop cars surrounded my car, guns drawn, everything. I lost it because I was jumped on my son, and people called the police on me prescription drugs.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what it was, but I started having these dreams. I'm like, well, what is happening? I never took prescription drugs like that.
Yeah.
So I started, and this light stuff, like Lyrica, light stuff. So I had that problem. Man, it was rough. It was just a rough time, but it all started with food. Everything. I wouldn't need no prescription drugs, no nothing. If my body's
actually carried it. Actually got the belt. None by it. Okay. Which middleweight do you want right now?
Triple G, because he Olympic silver medalist.
Okay.
Now it's Canelo, if he come at me, because they think he's slick.
Mm-hmm.
I felt him the slickest. And then Demetrius Andre, because he's the boogeyman of the division, which I'm the boogeyman.
Yeah.
I'm the boogeyman. So the boogeyman's got to fight. We got to see who's the best. Because really, he's the best in the division. Yeah. Nobody want to fight him. I don't care how you look at it. Nobody really want to fight him.
Yeah.
But I love that style. I love the challenge. I'm like, ooh, I found, and then I know that all these guys don't want to fight. I'm like, oh, that's the one I want to fight. I want to fight him. I want to see what he really got. Because I like to get in front of you and test everything. Now I have no worries. I don't got to worry about picking up kids at school, doing this, going there. No, I can chill, sit back, think about my fight, and beat your ass.
As I like to hear, man. Yeah. All right. And last one. When will you return to the ring, Chris?
Right now, they say in April, either May or April. It's COVID, but it's things happening, and I'm excited. Either April or May, for sure.
All right, sounds good.
Which is soon.
Hey, that sounds good. Look, once again, Chris, thanks for coming through because you just clarified a lot of things I used to see you do in the ring, but at the same time, blown my mind with a lot of your mental approach to the game. Just hearing what you said, I appreciate that. Just some of those stories you gave me. But before you go, like I said, everybody subscribe to the Byrds Eye View. It's probably one of the best boxing channels. Like I said, I watch it all the time. So other than that, Chris, can you give out your social media where everybody can follow you at too?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Chris_Byrd_boxing on Instagram, and Chris Byrd Boxing on Facebook, and I think Twitter is Chris Byrd Boxing also.
All right, and I'll post it up here. Post all the links up here for y'all to follow.
Follow me, brother. Follow the journey. Follow the journey. You will see the greatest fighter you ever seen. I will wow the crowd. Watch. When you watch me fight, just sit back, get your popcorn, get your drink, and be like, oh, enjoy the show. Because I'm going to put on a clinic. The professor is about to start teaching everybody.
Hey, look, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. You waking up stuff in me right now. You trying to make me get up and get it whatever I want. Like,
let's get it. It's time to get it, brother.
And what do you always say at the end of your shows now? Who's the greatest?
Who's the best in the world?
I am.
Who's the best in the world?
I am.
Who's the best in the world?
I am.
I am. That's what. Who's the best in the world? You gotta say it to yourself all the time, because it's only one you. Let's get it.
Yeah.
So you can hear me. That's it.
Yeah, man. All right, Chris. Well, look, take care. Good luck, and don't be a stranger. You know, we always support you over here, and we're gonna follow the journey.
Yeah. Yes, man. Hey, I thank you for having me on. Hey, keep pushing me, man. Hey, I know you're gonna be watching the journey.
For sure.
Know that I was on your show. Know that, hey, I'm coming back. When I come back, I'm champion. Oh, man, I like that. Chris Byrd, 1992 Olympic silver medalist. You can hear me. It was a hashtag CB99 Talks.
Yeah.
Is that right? Let's get it.